Hello. So over the past few days, I have been, okay, let's just say since about September or August of last year, I've been more freely, openly communicating the work that I've been doing and been regularly surprised by how much of work I have been doing and then what are the realms of work that my casual kind of inquiry has been unearthing or covering since some time. For example, I discovered what I've been calling as my conscience, mighty conscience, arises from several levels of Sri chakras, several wheels not being put together. And it's only as I shared that I had more ideas and insights about what is the work that I'm doing. And so this is where reality and virtuality kind of come together. Um, at the junction, several junctions, and time is being regarded in many ways. And there's also the question of what really is time, to the point that some even think time don't exist. So we have a spectrum of opinions on that. And then there's time-space relativity, gravitas of the matter. And I discovered since September, for example, that my work bounces off of Srividya. I knew it's bouncing off of several ideas, several ways of thinking. And then the clarity of it, the granularity of it became more clearer um, over these 6 months or so. And it came to a mythological quality during the 2 years of the pandemic. So I'm doing something that is fast tracking time, or rather, the work is getting more concentrated and the market placement, yeah, of my MITI suite of services, solutions, discoveries is quite amazing. And singularity, Advaita, for example, we have several ideas of what is tradition, even Sanatana Dharma, religion, God, and we haven't really gotten a head around it because reality is simply complex and complexly simple. And a sentence like that could get us really out there, yeah. But to get our head around, and then we don't know our body from our mind from our body. So we have duality concerns. So you would say I'm not saying anything new here. But that's what's new. I'm saying that our confusions are real because we don't know how to look at reality. Like, for example, from which perspective to look at it. Like, you have a room, you look through a window, you see what you see. You're clear that there's a window, and then you can see what you can see. But what if you don't know that you're looking through a window? And so you don't know where you're looking at what you're seeing from. Or what is not available. Like when you're looking through a window, you know you can see what you can see, and then you also know what you can't see. Like, for example, the wall around the window, you know that you can't see it. Now, what if you don't know the walls or that you're looking through a window? How do you know what you know and what you don't know, or what you're seeing and what you're not seeing? So it's not about, the hole and then or a window and then opening in it, have an open mind, but you don't know what is closed. And so you don't know what to open or how much. Yeah. And especially since we don't know mind from our body kind, it's like, where does one end, one begin? And this idea of where does one person end and another begin? Boundary concerns and therapeutic concerns. And we have WHO's global list of diseases, infections, and what it takes to maintain healthy, what it takes to maintain being wealthy, economic challenges, and humanity across boundaries. And people are even exploring space to see what we don't know dark matter, for example. So there are many things we don't know now. This background kind of alludes to several dots which are yet to be connected. Yeah, and we are on one of the dots. Yeah, pale blue dot, Carl Sagan. Now, how is this all relevant? How is all of this connected? Yeah. Um, I have been in different stages of talking about it, but I've been calling it also as a person-centric model of the universe. Our experience of living, now to make it simpler, is after the fact that we have a body that's human from which to have a perspective. Yeah. And then we have our senses, sense organs, by which to make sense of information. Or there is particle, or there is wave, or there is energy, matter, yeah, or different textures, different temperature, different direction. It's going forward, it's going back, left, right. Our sense of direction, for example. Are we becoming or unbecoming? Yeah. So some sense of discernment, several levels of it. Is it yellow? Is it red? Yeah. Is it silent? Is it noisy? Sense organs. But our ability to discern which is which is because we have a body that's human. Otherwise, you would say, okay, there's this vague idea of shunya, like being everywhere. Yeah. Or there's this knowing field. They're also called ghosts. Yeah. And you don't really know a ghost perspective. Yeah. So they say it's all mind. If you have a disease, then you'll know if it's all mind or body. Yeah. And then you need somebody to take care and then get well and all that stuff. Yeah. And you can have your ideas about body is all virtual, it's just an illusion and all that until something hurts. And then you have a real pain that you would like a solution for. Pain point. Yeah. So some of our floaty concerns are, life is all empty and meaningless and several things, maybe also coping mechanism with stuff we don't know how to deal with. For example, we don't know that we're looking through a window and we don't know the walls we don't know about. And so several people look at reality from their own perspectives, and we have several religions and several cultures and several fields of study, including science. We call it science. A person who is, for example, a child who's figuring out how to put that wheel on that vehicle and have it run. The vehicle is not running because this wheel is here, the vehicle is here, and it needs to be put together. Once the child figures out how to put together, then the vehicle is run, it will run. No doubt about it. But what if you don't know which is connected to which? And then why is your life not working? Yeah. Then you have some of the existential angst, some of the existential concerns of different kinds of human beings on different geographical, geodesimal location. Some with um, I can't say volcano. Yeah, some with shaky ground, some with forest, some with more wind, some with more sand. And they have their geodesimal experience of life while having a human body. Yeah. So what you can see, if you've never seen a forest or somebody who's in the desert, what you're talking about is Greek and Latin. Yeah. Okay. But I'm making this video for those who can in some way connect, have one set of dots versus another set of dots, and in some way, as a human experience, no matter where you are on Earth, we are all on Earth. We have been on Earth since some time. Yeah, it's the getting our head around this thing called reality and life and all of that has us function pretty interestingly. So if this video in some way makes sense to you who has a body that's human and the condition of being human and existential angst and all of that, it would still be a good video, I suppose. Yeah, in some way, communicating some message that in some way you can relate with. Now, this video is also to communicate the values that I have been making over the years in having our experience of living be normal, ordinary, harmonious, and living, not surviving, or you could say thriving, all so nice, and then we lose it. Lose what living means. Yeah, you're all like, oh yeah, everything is good, nice, and then yeah. You're more little flight. Having your feet on the ground becomes a little bit of concern, yeah. And then thriving also means others also thrive. And then if that gives you a little heebie-jeebies, what others thrive, yeah, me thrive, then we would have a little more humanity cross boundaries concern. That's also called survival. If you are thriving and others are not, that's also another form of survival. So we need to learn what living is. Living. On YouTube, for example, or different social media, living, if you're not live, where what's going on inside you can also be expressed, and in a way that makes sense, but expression at least, where you're not, oh, yeah, guerrilla warfare, that becomes a little bit of concern, yeah? So living, are you on the ledge between knowing and not knowing, and then paying attention to details and being safe, yeah, within all nice, in your own house, all boundaries fine, and then, all safety to keep you protected, all that nice, insured, yeah. Um, versus you can't even express what's going on inside you. And I've been speaking since some time, and it's about where are you listening from? Which hole are you listening to me from or seeing me from? Do you even know you're looking at me from a hole? Yeah. And then not communicating. I'm listening, not listening. Yeah. So we could be having our own guerrilla warfares. Yeah. Like that's also how I consider Earth is beautiful and alive, and other planets we haven't discovered life yet. I'm wondering if there are people under the ground. Yeah. We're hearing some sounds, asteroids. No, hide inside. I would also be I'm just talking like I'm Earth, and I'm talking like other people are from other planets. Yeah, who are yet to discover what life is. Because Earth has been living life in the multiverse. Okay, created people like me who are talking about enlivening life in the multiverse. I know how many people are actually talking about enlivening life in the multiverse. Yeah, unless I'm the first one. Yeah, one popcorn. Yeah, 1 year of corn, and then movie time. Yeah, cue your popcorns, or you're going to come up with ideas. We will at least have a year of corn. Yeah, one body, year, 2 years. Yeah, and a year of corn. Okay. That went a little maybe off topic, but the point is, I got lots of things to share. It's more like a dam full of water. Yeah, lots of all nice fresh water. And no dedicated channel by which I can speak and be listened to and be paid for what I'm making available. Because I'm stocking stuff which will have a lot of people's banks do well, like money-wise. And if you're listening, and if I'm not getting paid, what you're filling your banks with is just waiting for money to be paid to me, because you may be having little landfills in your banks. Yeah. I don't know how that works. I don't know how much percentage of it is true, but it's like you're stocking up money to invest in the real stock market, ecological economics. So it's a whole new market where we have WHO's global list of diseases. I call it the sick economy. And other than that, healthy, wealthy, wise living, like how Earth does, or rather, Earth created me to then create more me-like human beings, yeah, who can live in life in the multiverse, who can speak, or rather, let's just say, who are talking about and living life in the multiverse, like a tree of life. Yeah, there's this movie, teleseries that called Rings of Power. And there's this tree of light, yeah, which had gone kind of down and then up, and then more harmony between elves and dwarves. Yeah, or that's they also came up with that movie as I've been living as I've been doing my movementless yoga and stuff like that, talking about a technology by which to live life in the multiverse, creatives happening, different kinds of creatives, ideas, and several people won Nobel Prizes because of the different discoveries that has been possible. As I've been healing the fabric of time space, as I've been improving the conscience, they call it karma wheel, the wheel of karma. When a clock is not fine, with the key and oil and it's not functioning as well, time and space is not as very harmonious as it needs to be. A little off. So I've been repairing time space, like karma wheel, kala dharma, and all of that. So we have better creatives, yeah. Things that we are also talking about conscience. We are also talking about um, improving our laws by how our constitution, for example, maybe, or how we look at life, what creatives you can do, and movies, what you're seeing, the songs that you're hearing, are of a quality or of a timber, which may not have been possible earlier because the karma wheel needed, the kala dharma, the clock needed a little fine tuning. Destiny's wheel. Okay, the teleseries just talks about destiny as one of the celestial beings. And she had a concern that people were meddling with time and space, and so somebody's doing something else is happening. Yeah, retribution, so to speak. But that's way of how things look at it. It's more like they call it karma, and people have been saying karma bad, but karma also as a like a compass by which to discern which way to go. So there's this idea of astrolabia or astrolabe, like a compass. You look at it and then you know which direction to go. So each of us have an alethiometer or a truthometer that we haven't been able to discern yet. So I'm talking about a technology which is not how artificial intelligence, while you're using instruments, is not as easily accessible from just having a body that's human, from original human intelligence. And the more we maintain the body clock in all fine-tuned manner, then several clocks also fine-tune. It's like a watch. When one wheel starts functioning fine, it kind of adjusts, locks in with other wheels, and they are also, yeah, all just like that. And then they all also just come into line. And then aberrations change, yeah. And then we have a more stable problems correcting without destroying, demolishing anything, kind of, yeah. Turning around things for the better. So we contemporaries, future generations have a more order. Yeah, it's more a regularly fine-tuned conscience, which is not too tight or too loose. Yeah. Otherwise, things get a little cranky or a little loose. Yeah, not as very nice. Okay, so I'm talking about a technology, but I'm also talking about certain perspectives, certain concepts. I call it MITI concepts, which needs to be discussed for us, each of us, to get what it takes to fine-tune our own lives, our stories, our ideas of reality, our difficulties, so that we are all coming to having that precise time-space coordinate, yeah, by which without really needing any instrument. You can have, you're doing the right thing. You are ongoingly improving what you're doing so that you're doing more right things. And it's called the path of truth. Yeah. So what does it take for you to not have to think so much, but that the right things keep happening? And it's not about manifestation. It's not about, oh, you want, say, a perfume bottle and you get a perfume bottle. That's not what I'm talking about. It's about you walking and the path appearing. And which path? That path which has you, contemporaries, and future generations do well in life, healthy, wealthy, wise. Not by, you want something and you pick something off the shelf. That's not what I'm talking about. But doing things in such a way that your conscience gets finer and you're not doing things all the time. And the universe has your back, or rather, the universe has you on track and you have the universe on track. Yeah. So whole is becoming wholesomer. Some people have been saying master manifester. It's called conscience. As you fine tune your conscience, consciousness, mind, body, spirit, soul, what have you, all keeps getting better. Yeah. And then everything gets better. Yeah. And everything in between, nothing and everything. So slowly over time, diseases abate and people are living healthier, wealthier, wiser lives and creatives, all that stuff. So Shrishti optimization. We all have creators. What does it take so that we, contemporaries, future generations, are also making sustainable, creative, optimized? We're all creators basically, but a lot of us have trouble discerning about how creative we are or how much a creator we are. Yeah, we even make stories and also tell lies. That's also kind of cooked up, created. But then it's about what happens from telling lies and what happens from telling the truth. And then to have what it takes to stand by the truth and improve the truth. Otherwise, you are going in another direction, and then you have the consequences from that. So what does it take to do the right thing and continue to do the right thing? That's what it takes to, the biblical mountains. Copper deficiency in goats has been a course that has been a blockbuster win success. And goats defy physics in what it takes for them to have that algae on top of that mountain. So biblical mountains, that takes doing the right things, standing by the truth. And what does it take to continue doing the right things so that you're ongoingly climbing? Biblical mountains, like Sisyphus and his rock of the mountain. To continuously keep going. That's not a curse. It's an advantage. And what it takes for a person to do it is also how a person goes beyond generational trauma. Family generations, things that family members couldn't do in previous generations. History, her story couldn't do earlier. By which to go beyond the challenges which mankind may have been facing since some time. That's what I'm making available through MITI suite of solutions. I'm actually dabbling on a textbook, kind of more documenting those details, but there are some ideas worth sharing, ideas worth discussing, some concepts there. For example, our ideas of reality. So I'm in different stages of collating it and making it more perfect. But while that is happening, my idea of reality itself needs to be discussed. So then why wait for a good thing? I mean, why wait for the perfect form in a readable format when we can already start discussing? And then over time, just like how, say, I discovered mighty conscience arises from a finer version of Sri Chakra. Who's to say what becomes possible when a lot of people are discussing the matter? We get the matter and it becomes easier for us. And then each of us come from our own pools of thoughts and streams of consciousness. And how do we know we're not going to have a better life sooner than wait for me to write the whole text and then, get it in editing and proofing and several levels of writing the text and then talking about it. Why don't we just start discussing already? So I'm speaking on YouTube. So if anybody has a better idea, yeah, when it's not just about monetizing, because we may be sometimes stuck in money-based concerns. While there are 8 forms of currency, of exchange, every person, we may not be knowing about it, but we may be kind of stuck in a money-based economy. I might as well start speaking about it, yeah, because that's one of this. Oh my God, if only we already knew it, life would already be nice. But then the people keep asking, how much of money are you earning? So then I'm again stuck with, I need to make this video, put it in the thing, have people pay for it. And then I'll be able to say, see, so much of money I'm making, and hence I can talk about it authoritatively. That's not true. Yeah, people are still wondering about the hard problem of consciousness. I've been there, done that. Yeah, I've kind of figured it out. And now it's about Shrishti optimization from having figured out the hard problem of consciousness. Yeah, solved. Yeah, I got that stuff. One of the things being meaning and creator, and how does not really manifestation, you're talking about phenomenon, which part of the brain does which part. And yeah, so you don't know how subject is connected with object. Yeah. And subject-object agreement is needed for a sentence to make sense. And we have our own life sentences. I mean, we be jailed in our own sentences, each in our own studies, everybody looking at, 6 blind men and the elephant. So while you are all figuring it out, and several people have several of these different kinds of questions, each one looking at it from, so I might also talk. So you might also as well have all of them. Oh, now this makes sense. And that's like several dishes, like all talking, and then we can have sane communication, not a gibberish jabber of sounds, and then we call it babble of languages, where one needs to make sense with the other. Yeah. Might as well just talk. Yeah, it's called integration or communication. Communication, Holy Communion. Come on, community. So this may sound like a rant, but I'm actually talking about solutions. So if you have a better idea, right now I'm talking about it on YouTube, but this is more a one-sided conversation. I have a platform on Patreon. If everybody insists that that everything needs to be paid, payment is necessary. That's one of the challenges I'm facing. Because right now I'm running on loan money, yeah, and I need to be earning money for this so that I can pay. And when I am doing well and I can make creatives better with the money properly generated, then a lot of us do really healthy, wealthy wise. So there is content I would necessarily have to put behind paid channels, because then we would have dedicated conversations there. But there are several conversations which is better had in open discussion forums, like ideas worth sharing. Yeah, like TED Talk maybe. Yeah, but or discussions which is better murmured, and we would all do better from those murmurings. So like birds of a feather flock together, but some things are better discussed. So for that, I have a Graphy link. I'll put it in the description. And there's also paid options. So behind the scenes, paid behind for memberships. Then we could have more in-depth conversations about it. But there are some things which is more than just chatter, murmur. There are some things we better start discussing. So I hope this gives you a little perspective on what's happening at my end and what's available for you, and what are the options here. And I hope somebody is listening to this. Yeah. So thank you so much for your kind attention. I hope this has been of value to you. Good day.